Good afternoon, welcome to Parent Briefing for weekend in Friday, the 6th of November 2020. Good to speak to you again. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of a few things to make sure you're in the picture with what's going on at school. So I'm going to talk about how we did during half term one. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about things that are going to come your way during this half term, and then I want to finish with celebration of some successes across our year groups that goes on every day, particularly on Fridays here at the school. So a little bit of certainty, a little bit of structure, a little bit of reassurance, hopefully, from the messages today. Okay, so we're back into half term 2, which finishes on Friday, the 18th of December. And also this week, sadly, we start sort of lockdown 2, don't we? And I want to begin with that, really. We had new guidance issued to us as schools yesterday, so we've been sort of taking that on board. Not a great deal of change at all required in our setting. We put our system of controls in early in September and across the summer ready, and they've served us really well because we've come to the end of another week and we had no further positive COVID incidents or tests this week, and certainly still had none amongst our student population. So as things go, the school is doing very well. One thing that concerns me slightly talking to students, and again, this was just the other side of the half term when the tier 2 and tier 3 discussions were going on, a little bit of uncertainty and lack of clarity around their understanding. So what we've done and what we will continue to do into next week is during the mornings, during form time, we'll do a series of presentations, slide presentations, and we'll talk them through everything that they need to know about changes to guidance in the wider society. And it's no surprise with the amount of guidance that we've had, across the population, really, that it can be quite challenging to keep up with what the rules and regulations are. So we'll do that. We've also posted the national regulations, a very simple document to navigate, really. We've put those on our social media platforms as well. So if you go to Facebook, if you go to Twitter earlier in the week, you'll see links there which give anybody, student, adult, anybody, clear guidance on what this period now into early December means for everybody living in England. Okay, I want to flag up a key date that we've decided to put into the calendar. As you know, we took an extra inset day at the start of September. We did 3 days to lead in because one of those days was specifically about site safety and running a COVID secure building. That served us very well, it appears. So we then have 2 inset days to play with, which, as usual, as has been every year, are quite flexible throughout the year. Now we want to run an inset day on Monday, the 30th of November. So right at the end of this calendar month, at the start of the week where, at this point, the lockdown regulations are, mooted to be lifted. So Monday, the 30th of November becomes our inset day number 4. Now, the 2 key points in that day will be this. At the moment now, we're ready to deliver all our teaching and learning online remotely. We want to refine that skill set and extend that skill set in our teachers and across our teaching group. So that day is very, very focused on remote learning capacity and making it even better than it currently is. And there'll be some test teaching and learning that will go on during that day that children across the year groups will be able to access. We'll give you more information about that as we get closer to the date. The second part of that day's training is around something called Parent Cloud, because as we move forward, we need to still connect with people around progress evenings and parents evenings, and we'll be looking to do that using that product. So staff require quite specific training on how to do that. And again, as we train on that, as we embed that, we'll communicate what that means for parents and carers out into the community. So a key day for us, again, all about improvement in teaching and learning, all about improvement in connectivity and keeping parents and carers fully informed of their child's development and improvement at school. How we did during half term 1, well, I said that, in terms of the COVID secure aspects, we continue to do very well, but I thought it was useful for parents and carers to know a little bit wider context around the performance at school as well. Currently, we remain quite significantly above the national average for attendance at secondary level. So we're about 4 to 5 percentage points above national attendance in secondary settings, which we're all incredibly proud of. And I think, again, long may that continue, because absolutely support the line that children should be in school learning and safely being with their peers. What we've also seen is, in terms of some of the internal numbers that we use, attitude to learning and the cultural indicators within the school, they are at the best level that we've seen since we introduced those systems 3 or 4 years ago. So a really positive start to the academic year in the most adverse to the social circumstances, I think, is a huge credit to our children and to our teachers as well. And thanks also for the feedback that's come through on the various communication platforms that we've got. It's really, reassuring, and it's energizing to hear from our families that you're appreciative and supportive of the things that we're trying to do in school. So thank you very much for that. I mentioned on the Inset Day remote learning. That is something that we've been developing all the way through summer to try and be right at the cutting edge of how we deliver lessons to students. What we are looking at is how that would be applied in different scenarios. Now, currently, and it's sitting with me and the senior managers at the moment, is a document that outlines each of those potential scenarios and what it would mean for children and families in different year groups. So we're putting together a sort of a parent and student friendly version of that really simplifies if certain scenarios across society happen. If we lose capacity in our staffing, for example, if there is an outbreak within our school, what would that mean if parts of the school had to close and so on. So all those potential scenarios, you can be reassured that we've considered and that we'll put proper teaching and learning remote systems in place there. So we'll probably release that over the next working week. And again, any feedback on that, if there's any clarity that we can add to it, please let us know and we'll do that. One of the other things you'll see us post this week is parent governor vacancies. We've had various different people across different year groups approach us expressing an interest, much more interest expressed than we've actually got places. So when you see that formal advert out there, please respond to it. And then we will run a proper process and continue to build up our parent support group on the local governing body. So look out for that. It'll certainly be on the social media platforms. So let's finish on a real, an additional positive. Every Friday now is titled Fab Friday. We celebrate in the morning the achievements of the week, and you can feel a fantastic energy in the building when that's going on. And again, another day, celebrating successes today has been fantastic. But I do want just to finish by drawing attention to one young man as an example, really, of the quality of young people across our school and across our town. It came to our attention this week that a young man in year 7, Max, entered an engineering competition. He's an ex-Hungerford student, and we obviously have very positive, strong, established links with Hungerford. He entered that at some point during the lockdown, and he has won that competition. And he was first across the entire Cheshire, Merseyside, Northwest region, where there were 30,000 entries, I think, to that competition. So to come first across that amount of interest in a competition is a huge achievement, and it's a great a simple engineering feat that he's come forward with. A washing line, a sensor-based washing line that retracts when it rains. Who doesn't need one of those? So I just thought it was worth flagging that up, because we're celebrating that, and we're certainly posting out to some of the UK employers like Dyson and international employers like Velux to try and connect with them to show off the talent that's in this community. So well done to Max, and well done to everybody who today has been celebrating their achievements during school. Okay, I'll leave it there. Hopefully that gives you an outline of a couple of key dates on the calendar, what we've been doing, how well the school is doing in this period, and opportunities coming up down the road for students and for parents and carers to get involved as well. Hope you continue to remain safe. Have a good weekend. I'll speak to you again next week.